Welcome to The Growth Equation. This isn't your typical business podcast. We're keeping it real about the challenges of scaling up. Period. I'm Tristan Wright and I've been there. I've built and scaled my own business. I've sold it. I've learned a ton along the way. Now I'm bringing you the no BS stories of founders who are in the trenches right now, navigating that messy middle. We're talking advertising, marketing, design, creative, branding, the whole 9 yards. Doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur or running a team of 100. Everyone's got a secret sauce, that thing that makes them different, better. We're going to uncover it. So grab a coffee and let's get real. Today we're talking to Danny from Global Interactive Group. Danny, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Really looking forward to this chat because what you've got is a slightly different service and offering to a lot of the guests that I have on this podcast. So without further ado, I want you to tell us a bit about Global Interactive Group.
Yeah, sure. We're 23 years old. We span 5 countries. We're in Australia, New Zealand, US, Ireland, UK. Essentially, we're an outsourced sales solutions group, predominantly in the face-to-face sector. Now, that includes door-to-door, shopping centre pop-up sites and business-to-business, and all of that face-to-face. So we acquire customers on behalf of national and international clients. From over the last 23 years, we've worked on behalf of anything and everything from pay TV to energy to telco. Currently, we're working with a lot of non-for-profits as well as the energy sector and food delivery area.
So you have some of your clients are the door knockers that people hate seeing, kind of thing, but have great success with.
Absolutely, the ones that are annoying are probably my competitors, but the really good ones are mine. Yeah, for sure.
So why are your competitors the annoying ones? So have your guys got better training?
We definitely focus a lot on training, and we've been extremely successful in a very competitive market. We do bring that a lot down to our training and developing of our people. We spend a lot of time and effort on teaching our people communication skills, not just sales skills, just communication skills and how to relate to different types of people, especially this generation or people in their early 20s that have grown up with their mobile phones or iPads. We haven't communicated as much as someone like myself from an early age. It's actually teaching them how to relate to different age groups, and what the simple thing is like, hello, sir, hello, madam, things like that.
Yeah. Like that's an interesting one because at the end of the day, a lot of your, I'm not sure if they're contractors or staff, but a lot of the people that are working for you will be in their teens or early 20s, and they don't have the communication skill set that you and I grew up with from previous generations. So I imagine like running the business for 23 years, the way you've had to train and upskill your team has changed a lot.
It's definitely evolved, and we do bring a lot of outsiders in to assist. So we do invest a lot of our money into development. That 90% of our people are internal to us and they are full-time staff. I was one of the first in Australia to change that of a company of my size. So we believe in looking after our people. Yes, we still want the hunger of people in sales for sure, but we think we've got the right balance. And it's because of our investment into the training and development is that why we're getting the great results.
Yeah, awesome. So let's take a step back. You've been in business for 23 years. How did you get into this space?
I was looking for an opportunity myself, and I actually stumbled into this industry. I think most people that I speak to in this industry stumble into it from one. It's growing up. Your parents ask you or your guardians ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? I don't think anyone in our industry says, I can't wait to be a door-to-door knocker, right? So what I found is I was involved in real estate in this, just previously to this, and I was just looking for something different, something with a bit of an opportunity. And I stumbled across, went to an interview. I was in Adelaide at the time, and there was a 22-year-old person interviewing me, and then we got on talking, and he's telling me it's his business and his company. I actually didn't believe him. I thought, no, you're too young for that. I was 28 at the time. And he explained why and how. And there was a bit of an opportunity system with that company at the time. And I'm like, well, there's the same opportunity for me if I join your company too. And, I build a team, and they said yes. And I'm like, well, I'm in. Let's start. And it was a commission only job at the time as a contractor. So the job was you don't sell, you don't get paid. And I started from there.
Yeah, wow.
And 12 months after working with them, I had the opportunity to start on my own with under their umbrella.
Yeah, okay.
At the
So
time.
are you still under their umbrella, or is it how?
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you now?
So 2012. So it was about 10 years after we started. I started from scratch. I was actually in a lot of debt, 360 grand in debt. I lost any type of asset I had property wise. My wife's pregnant, 8 months pregnant, and I've got a little toddler. And I started back out in the doors. I hadn't been out there for about 5 years, me and one other person. And that's where it was the worst time of my life at the time, but it was the best thing that's ever happened to me as far as business is concerned. It made me change the whole process and systems from the sales reps on the ground in the beginning and just paying them more and looking after them and moving into that full-time role. It helped me develop systems to be able to train them better and be able to scale my business. And we didn't think back then like we'll be in 5 countries. And I was quite happy to grow to about 30, 40 people and play golf every Friday. And that's what we did do. But then I created this opportunity model that we just exploded. So it's not the most glamorous job, like, door to door, but we added glamour into it. And by that is like we added opportunities. So people that can do the sales and teach the sales and build a team of their own, it's like someone who's walking through my door today, 18-year-old to 25-year-old, generally speaking, the majority of people that join us here in Australia, they could come in with no experience and within 12 months earn 120 to 150K a year.
Wow.
Right?
So there's an opportunity if you're looking for revenue, for cash. Like, there's definitely opportunity, but as you said, it's not glamorous, and it's an industry that's got a stigma against it almost. So,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you're still using marketing tactics. You're still using sales tactics. You're still using psychology. It's just a different channel to digital to print.
Absolutely. We believe we've got an advantage. Any digital person saying, well, how can you scale that? How can you build that? I've got to agree. It's not for every single product out there. What makes me laugh though is pay TV comes to us to go door to door. And it's like, well, what do you do as pay TV? Don't you sell advertising? Isn't that how you make your money? I get a lot of people in the SEO area, or saying, oh, we advertise on social media and that. It's like, well, why don't you find your business that way then? Right? Why are you coming to me? So it's very interesting that a lot of people in that, TV space or digital space come to door to find new customers, like especially businesses, to get them on board. The advantages we have is that we can individualize any product or service to every single person. You can't ask, Instagram ad a question, right? But you can ask me that question, and what your needs is going to be very different to Bob's needs next door. So that's our advantage. The other advantage is our branding, where I ask people all the time, and this is one of the way I speak to potential clients, where it's like, have you ever been door knocked before, or someone telemarketed you, or someone stopped you in a shopping center? They're like, oh yeah, I'm like, how long ago? And I always ask the people that have been 6 months longer, this has happened. So yeah, about a year ago. Yeah, but I didn't buy it. I'm like, doesn't matter whether you bought it or not. Have you had that experience? And they say yes. So someone stopped me in a shopping center. It's like, okay, what was the product I was selling? They'll be saying, just say, for example, it's ABC product. I'm like, yeah, okay. And was it a male? Like, what was the concept? Like, what were they trying to sell? It's like, oh, it was $30 a month or something like that. I'm like, okay. And was it a male or female that spoke to you? Oh, I was a male. Were they taller or shorter than you? Yeah. No, they'll answer all these questions, but I didn't sell. I go, no, that's okay. Okay, you probably drove to work today. Just today, you would have passed at least 50 billboards, right, and different advertising things. Name 3. And I'll say that for a group, and I'll struggle to get 3. And I was telling anything but food, right? So you can't say Macca's, you can't say anything like that, right? And there's a reason behind that. And they struggle to find 3. And I'm like, so that was today, but you remember something from 6 months ago. You remember the brand? And you even remember the concept? and you even remember the person, because people remember people. And this is the power of face to face. So it works every single time because it's true. But the reason why I say stay away from food, because there's an emotional attachment to that. If you're feeling hungry and then, a pizza commercial comes on, it's like, let's get pizza tonight. It's going to tempt you. And they're always advertising around that dinner time, right? Purely for that. And, different tunes. The ads that we remember are either really funny or really annoying, right? Why?
Yep.
Because they touch our emotions, right? So National Tiles is a classic one. Oh,
Polarizing.
yeah, right. But that's what we do. So we're talking to people. We're passionate about what we're talking about. We become sort of that person that you meet at a party that's contagious. You want to continue to talk to them, and that's that's how we like to present to people on a day-to-day basis. And that's and whatever brand we're representing, we're doing that on their behalf, generally with what message they want us to bring across as well.
I guess the brand needs to understand are they feeling, what level of the funnel are they feeling? Are they feeling top of the funnel awareness, or are they trying to feel bottom of the funnel and get conversions? So if you've got a memory of someone from 6 months ago, that's a top of the funnel feeling activity. But if you're looking to get a sale, that's bottom of the funnel. And so the brands need to know precisely where they're wanting to engage you as well.
Absolutely. And well, we cover all areas, I believe, where, if we were to knock on someone's door, hi, how you going? I'm Danny, just on behalf of. You might close that door on me right there, but I've already introduced the brand to you. Okay. So on a daily basis, one person's going to do that to about 70 people a day. Now, out of that 70 that are home or that we speak to, we'll engage about 30 of them, right? And when I say engage, we'll explain what the product, why we're there, and what the product does. So they get to understand what it might be. So the concept behind the product. So if it's fundraising, it's understanding where the money's going to go, why does it go here, all the reasons, why they actually exist as a charity, how they can help, right? And the concept to it. If it's a food delivery, it's like, this is how much it's going to cost this is how it works. We'll show it on the app, blah, blah, blah. We'll give them a bit of an experience and a bit of a demo right there. Now, out of that 30 people, generally speaking, we'll sign up 2 to 5 people a day on the spot that will actually commit today. So for 70, we're branding people. That's one person, 350 a week, whatever that is a year. When you got 10 people in an office, right, it's more powerful. When you've got 100 people across the country, it's extremely powerful, right? And again, we're not just getting the acquisition, right? We're branding, we're advertising while we're out there. We're also explaining what it actually does. So when they're in the market for it, they already know that, okay, that's definitely one option that I'll take, right?
I can see this working almost like, so you're talking about how it works for larger business, but I could see how this could work for trades-based businesses like plumbers or electricians as well. So especially if they're selling in a free audit or a free fire alarm check, things like that. So I don't know if you have smaller businesses that do that sort of thing, but
yeah, we do. Sometimes we cater with small campaigns here and there. I'm sort of moving in the area where we actually train people to train their own staff to do this, right? So, so it's like anything to do with marketing. It's like, I think we're really extremely competitive. There was an article that I read the other day, and it was in the fundraising area, and this person was boasting from the digital world, saying, if you can get your leads for less than $400, you're doing really good. And I'm like, hang on. We do more than that for the same price. We actually acquire customers. And it's like, yeah, well, is it worth putting your money here? It's the amount of money that people spend on marketing is I think it's crazy. How effective is it? Where everyone wants the results, where we guarantee the results.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't know how your structure is with your clients, but it's probably got something to do with pay on performance as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially when we work for non-for-profits, we definitely pay on performance. So we want to be as fair as we can be, as well as a clawback. So we are accountable to it as well. And yeah, we want to make sure we're raising the money that they need. Just speak with a lot of my clients, 3.5 to 4.5 to 1 is what they get in return.
Yeah, wow. So it's really interesting. Like on the digital world, we're seeing a lot of people being spammed all over the place, email, social media, and AI copy, and people are talking about how what do we need? How do we get in front of others? And it's going back to old school letters. There's a talk about going back to letters, but I haven't seen anything about going back to door knocking. Uh, but is that something that's going to take off again?
I truly believe it is. Even basic communication, I think is going to take off, and as well as authenticity, I think is what people are looking for. So a letter makes sense because that's authentic. It's handwritten. It's going to be very hard to copy. A person, you cannot copy a person, just the way it goes, and even in my company, I will teach them things, but I say, you can't copy me. You have to do it your way.
You have to be you.
You have to be you. Exactly. And, you can't copy that from anyone. You can copy a system, but you can't copy a person. And the AI stuff is pretty exciting. At the same time, it's scary because who am I speaking to? And they're getting better and better. And they say in the next 2 years, it's going to be revolutionary and we need to embrace it. And I'm all for that. However, what does that mean to, someone in their 60s or 70s that, could be the perfect candidate for this perfect product? Who are they going to trust? Right. But also, I believe it can become a trust issue in the future because who's real, who's not real? And we already get scammed by really good scammers. Wait till they start AI, get involved with AI. It's like, well, and you've seen probably some crazy things out there already, people imitating other people. It's like, that's not me, mum, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Does this work in B2B space? It works in B2C. How do you play in the B2B space with this?
We generally speak to small to medium businesses suits us better.
Yeah.
As far as like cold calling, you can also set appointments and go in.
Yeah.
However, we're actually doing a test right now for an energy client, a national energy client, where we're actually just walking straight into businesses. It's like, hi, how you going? It's like, look, take 2 minutes of your time. We're pretty certain we can save you money on electricity bill. If you get it out, we'll leave you alone because we know they're busy doing things. We'll have a comparison and come back to you in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So
it works.
So there is depending on the offer. So,
but you know what? We're giving them an option. 5 minutes ago, they never knew there was an option to save money on their electricity bill. 5 minutes later, we're presenting on how much they can save, or we're not going to save them anything else, right?
Yeah.
So that's the power. We've just created a happy customer who just saved themselves, say, $1,000 a year, and we've joined that customer to one of our clients.
Yeah, because you've got a good value proposition and a good hook. You've got a reason for them to want to talk to you.
Yeah, it's just the power of people. Like, people sometimes aren't even looking for an offer. In these, it's just like they're just fed up with the existing retailer. It's like, yep, sign me up to anything. I've had enough of these people. Like, yeah, okay, all right, And we ideally we do want to offer people something better than what they've got, but we get a lot of that as well, and. A lot of the times we've been there and they'll actually call their existing provider and they get angry at them. It's like, how come they give them a discount over the phone? And it's like, well, why didn't you give that to me before? Right. And they said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm going to sign up with this fella just here. So
too fun.
That's what happens.
Yeah. I want to change speed for a minute. And we've talked about your service and how you help others. But I want to know about your journey behind the scenes. Like, you've grown the business and from 1 to 10 to 40 to however many you've got now. But I'm sure it hasn't been smooth sailing the entire way.
Well, the obvious obstacle is I'm in face-to-face at our peak and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
I had been given advice years ago by one of my mentors saying, Danny, you need to diversify. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I do different products. I don't just stick to one sector. And he's like, no, go to different countries. One legislation in one country won't affect the next. And I was like, yeah, okay. So we ended up going to new countries, but the pandemic affected us all over the world, right? So business just stopped. And there was nothing we could do about it. We're in the face-to-face world. And here in Australia, we copped it the worst, especially in Victoria and New South Wales. And, overnight, we pretty much lost 50% of our business here in Australia, not knowing whether it was going to come back, and it didn't because it just took too long. And worldwide, we shrunk down to about 40% of our capacity before the pandemic, right? So the challenge, that's one of the challenges, and I can easily rebuild in my head. But the other challenge was the staff that you've got to support these people, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the cost of running a business, like, how quick are we going to do that? So it's any business owner says that it's smooth sailing, either hasn't been in business long enough, right, or is lying, right? I think we all have our challenges and obstacles. For us, hit our back pocket pretty hard, and we survived through it. But it also made us innovative to diversify from on the phones, online businesses, a couple of different things. So, and then, would have been one of the next hardest obstacles that we've had to get through.
Yeah.
And we're still recovering. We're not 100% back there yet, but we're pretty close.
I can imagine like it's literally wiped off half of your business in the matter of weeks. So I'm sure there would have been nights that you just couldn't sleep. You're like, what do I do? How do I keep my livelihood going? So
yeah. I was ready to go out. I was ready to leave. I was ready to call it quits. And no, but we stuck it out.
Yeah. So, and here you are today. Like your business is stronger than ever, kind of thing. So maybe not stronger than ever, but you've learned being in the people business. I'm sure you've had people issues as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear. We often don't talk much about that. I want to hear about some of the. Don't name names or anything like that.
No.
But what sort of people issues have you had, and how have you had to deal with them?
When you recruit a lot, you do have a lot of staff. You'll get every type of person walking through your door, and it sort of breaks your heart to see that people actively look for businesses to try and scam them in like for work cover or anything on those lines, stressed or whatever it might be. Like, we're a sales business, and one person day one or day two was saying they've got anxiety and they couldn't work again. And but we're in sales, and before even recruiting them, we actually take them out, show them what we do, right? So because we know this business isn't for everyone, and then day two they're claiming workers' compensation for anxiety and stressing out, and it's affecting their sleep and the whole lot. Like, I can't comment whether it's true or not, but when that happens, you can tell the type of person that happens. Anyway, things like that. I think anyone with staff have got similar problems or other problems like that. I like to combat that though through inspiration if I can, and really empower our people through our culture. And that's the best we can do. There's always going to be a bad egg here and there, claiming this or wanting this and wanting that. The thing is, we try and minimize it. So I could go on all day about stories and, people faking things and making it happen. And I like to pride myself is that I do look after my people as much as I can and offer them as much as I can.
I've just lost my headphones, so okay. I'm just changing. I'm back now. So I'm going to have to get my editor to fix that. I had my headphones played up for a second. So, but let's keep going.
Yeah, sure. So, I was just saying I like to inspire and empower my people and try and minimize that risk as best as I can through our culture. I don't think you can get it 100% right, but I think you got to always aim with your people and your right-hand people and their right-hand people to be all on the same page about things. And we do spend time on induction and onboarding and that type of thing, but, people are people, you're going to get all types.
Yeah, there's going to be there's always going to be people that slip through the cracks, but it's about setting up a proper culture and then also having the systems in place.
Absolutely.
So the onboarding, and I'm sure you've got templates or whatnot to deal with issues when they happen as well. You've got formal review processes.
Absolutely. And, the quicker you deal with things, the better, so
Mm.
nip things in the bud as quickly as we can, and if like we're outside, someone might even slip and hurt themselves, right? There's a little bit wet and someone's stared, we got to act on that straight away. We have people bitten by dogs, we have people getting abused by the public, we've had people chase us down the street with a hammer, right? Just by
Really?
knocking on their door, right? Hi, how you going, right? Like there's some, like one is our own people, but it's other people that we're more worried about, if you want to be honest.
Mm. Mm.
So, yeah. And we're talking about we don't target crazy areas, if we want to call it that, but, it's in every area. So
Yeah.
we work in pairs for safety, we're around each other, we can see each other. But, yeah, we definitely have to be on the ball and be sharp when we're out there.
Totally. So we focus mainly on the door knocking. We've touched on cold calling as well. So out of interest, where do you see the better results? Is it different services or different products that get different results, cold calling versus door knocking?
Like when we compare door knocking to events like working in shopping centers or private sites around the place, even business to business, walking in through the door, to even street pitching, we call it street pitching or street promotions. And that's just walking in the busy street of, say, the streets of Sydney or Melbourne and talking. The numbers are all the same.
Interesting.
So they're all the same. If it was the same product and I put it in all those areas, would have the same thing being processed through. Pretty much we work the numbers, and that's how we work, right? So if we call it the law of averages, where one's contact, but we go on how many conversations, how many presentations can we get to people? And we aim for 20 minimum a day. And out of that 20 minimum, we know we're going to sign up 2 to 5. 2 being on a low point, 5 being pretty good. There's people that do more than that, but that's our sort of average, 3 or 4 a day. So when we go into a business, we might speak to 2, 3, 4 people in there, right? We might not get to see as many businesses, but we'll still see the same amount of people. Event sites, we try and pick the ones that have got enough traffic flow for us to speak to 70 people or attempt to speak to 70 people a day. So we work those numbers to get the number.
Yeah, interesting. Because, I would have thought different services would have, or different products would have different results in different areas. But it's interesting that they're all relatively similar. So 23 years, pandemic aside, what would you have done differently, or what could you or should you have done differently through your journey as growing this business?
It's a very good question, because I like to think nothing, because it has brought me to where I am today. And you need to go through the hardships as well as go through the successes to evolve as a business person. There's no winning without losing. There's no success without failure. If I was to go back and think, okay, what would have made a difference, or what still could make a difference, was start the opportunity system way earlier, hire people full time way earlier. We lost a lot of really good people in the early days of the business. Go get my own clients way earlier, right? So before 2012, I probably would have been good enough to do that in 2008, 7, around there. And probably would have taken over the world if we did back then, right? So if we did those things there, we'd be a lot larger, a lot more dominant around not just Australia, but probably the US, UK as well.
Yeah, it's all the coulda, shoulda, woulda. No, it's all hindsight.
That's right. Everything's perfect in hindsight, right?
But the big thing is, don't be afraid to take action. So if you think you've got something, don't sit on it, take action.
You absolutely have to. If your heart's telling you to go for it, don't always necessarily listen to the mind. Business people work on instincts and guts, and maybe that's another thing. I'm just listening to my gut a lot more and follow what I feel. There's no logic sometimes towards a business person's decision, as much as like we want to make calculated risks. Passion overcomes these things, I believe.
Mhm.
And you really believe it. And that's what I think is going to make a difference towards people around me or whatever purpose it is. You got to go for it, and you can sit there all day planning, but it's only when you start doing is when the plans sort of come into place, because nothing ever goes according to plan. But when you start doing the thing, okay, we'll take this direction, that direction, and just be ready to fall flat on your face and get back. As long as you're ready to get back up and
Yeah.
move forward to what you want, you're going to win.
Yeah, because you learn from your mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the closer you are to winning.
Absolutely. I can count every mistake with every white hair on my head.
I can count every mistake with all the hair I don't have. So, yeah, we learn from them and then we grow. So, Danny, one piece of advice you give to other business owners. So one piece of advice that you wish you had been given through your journey. What would that be?
Don't be the smartest person in the room. I know that's sort of cliche, but network with the right people. Network with people that you want to be like and aspire to be like, and the size of the business you want to be. Definitely hang out with these people because they understand your journey. They've already done what you've done, and there's no better person to mentor you through what you're about to go through. I still do this today, Tristan. Like, I'm part of a network group that's blowing my mind at the moment. There's been a couple of billionaires on these talks, and I'm just like, wow, right? And there's people even my age that are just getting into business, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty inspiring as well. But they're making things rock, and it's like, you will search, you will find, and so hang out with the people that you want to be like. There's
Totally
some amazing advice, I think.
Yeah, you're the sum of the 5 people closest to you, or the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Absolutely.
And that can be people you listen to their podcasts as well. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get it not only from one area, get it from wherever you can.
That's it. Danny, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for people to connect?
Yeah, we've got our website, gig.live. It's that simple, gig.live. Through our website is probably the best way to connect. If you want to connect directly, Danny, DANNY, @gig.live.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, mate.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Tristan.
Cheers.
That's a wrap. Thanks for tuning into The Growth Equation. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that subscribe button and leave a review. It helps us big time. Catch you next time. And if you want more, head over to evolvetogrow.com.au for show notes and exclusive content.